Hello and welcome to Triathlonology, a triathlon podcast by Animis racing team. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Jacqui. We are a mum and son coaching team who have changed our lives through the sport of triathlon.
Our podcast aims to break down the mysteries of triathlon training and show you, the listener, how simple and flexible it can be so that it really does become part of your lifestyle and not just a hobby.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Triathlonology, a triathlon podcast by Animis racing team.
I'm Coach Jacqui.
I'm Coach Oliver, and together we're a mum and son coaching team based in North Lincolnshire and South Yorkshire in England. In our podcast we dispel straightforward, no nonsense advice in our indomitable Yorkshire style. Last week, readers of the podcast will remember we talked about having some new equipment or new kit. We have now got this podium jacket as worn by Great Britain athletes, and we will be wearing it for our free swim, bike, run mini triathlon on Saturday while we're doing that, and also we'll be wearing our swim, bike, run t-shirts that have been kindly provided by British Triathlon Federation as a result of that, and for our swim, bike, run events in Doncaster every first Sunday of the month. Which is a duathlon, which is run by run, in case you don't know. So these jackets are very nice and they are boiling, and I have no idea how them, well, I know swimmers like to keep warm anyway before they go into the swimming pool, but I could not wear this for 10 minutes at a swimming pool.
No.
I'd be absolutely roasting.
Because surely it must have been as hot there as it is in normal
Well,
pools.
you'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah. On outside. Anyway, it is really warm, and I am looking forward to putting it through its paces in the elements, because it's absolutely boiling in this house and it's hot in this jacket, but I'm going to persevere for the purposes of
this
filming this podcast exactly like that. Today we are talking about cycling tips and bits of advice if you're a newbie cyclist or you're wanting some to be able to best way of training through the winter, etc. So we're going to just go through like our top things that you would need and how and sort of how much to spend or otherwise on these things as we're going along. And the first thing I would say any new cyclist or a new triathlete or somebody who wants to get better at cycling should buy is a turbo. 100% a turbo. And it doesn't have to be a fancy electronic one that you are
connected to internet and
simulate
riding and all this load of blather.
Direct drive. It doesn't have to be like that. You can just get a nice simple flywheel one with a magnet controller on it to turn it up to 11, as Spinal Tap would say.
Yeah, because we started off with one of those and it did us great. In fact, you're going to give me your old one, aren't you, that I can have at work?
I've still got it in my garage, so then you can bob on at work and ride it, because it doesn't take much setting up really. You just need
just my turbo wheel on and off you go.
Or if you're not bothered about tyres, just like rinse your tyre. Well, I would suggest getting a turbo tyre rather than like rinsing your actual tyre, but whatever, it depends how much money you've got. If I'm tight and from Yorkshire, I'm not spoiling a tyre.
No, because we have
and it makes a noise and a smell.
Yeah. It does smell.
And you get
burning rubber.
Get bits of rubber all over your kitchen floor or your garage floor or whatever. That you have to then sweep up. Whereas if you have a turbo tyre, you don't get any of that.
No, you don't.
So you can spend whatever you want on a turbo, or you can have a really fancy one for like a couple of £100, or you can get the cheaper flywheel one with an electromagnet for like £50. You can get them even from Lidl and Aldi. At Middle and Lidl, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
And they're good. They would do a good job. Because riding on a turbo will do you good any time of the year, because you could always get a good session in the turbo. You never have to stop for traffic. You never have to stop for traffic lights, pedestrians, animals running in your way.
You don't fall off.
None of that. You can, and if it's raining outside, you're not going to get wet through. If it's going to blow a gale like it's scheduled to do here tomorrow, then you're not going to get blown off.
You're not going to be blown off.
And particularly as we get towards the winter and the roads get even worse than they are now in terms of their condition. It rains, so it fills the potholes up with water.
You don't spot pothole over.
You just take it less of a chance.
It's just sometimes it's just not worth it.
No.
So, and as I say, you get a really good workout on a turbo. So we would highly recommend you getting a
investing
turbo.
in a turbo of some description. Now you don't need a wobble board like you might have seen on my pictures with Taylor Swift that Mindy will have stuck on the podcast or on Instagram. But you can get one if you want. The wobble board helps you like simulate the road as you move around on your bike, because if you're on your turbo, it's fixed in a position, and it can make it more sore than it would be when you're riding out on your bike outside, because without knowing you move around outside, and the road moves you and what have you. And you can replicate that somewhat with a wobble board. Mine comes from Turbo Rocks, as featured on Dragon's Den, and Steve, who owns and manufactures the wobble boards, he is excellent at customer service. Really, really good. I had a problem with mine a good 2 years after I bought it, and he has fixed it for me and give me a spare. So can't say fairer than that. No. Whereas you've got a homemade one, haven't you?
Yeah, I bought it off somebody off eBay, and it's alright, but it's not anywhere near as good as Oliver's. So
you're going to treat yourself to one, aren't you?
I'm going to treat myself to one of those.
So it makes your winter a bit better.
Yeah, because now I've got my Zwift fastened up again in my garage. I'm rocking.
Yes.
So the next thing that we would recommend is something chamois cream. You probably don't even know what chamois cream is, but look it up. So
chamois cream is the lubricant that you put on yourself and on your chamois pad that helps you helps reduce the friction between you and the chamois pad and the bike, essentially, because it's the friction that will give you
blisters
and saddle sores and make it uncomfortable while you're riding on there. So generally with chamois cream, the more you spend, the better it is.
But don't buy menthol. No, menthol
is mental, unless you're into being tingled all over. Which after doing it a couple of times, it gets old.
No, it's like having radium?
Deep heat.
Oh,
deep heat when they put that in your trousers. No.
You
don't want to do that for very long. But I mean, you might be into menthol, in which case crack on. But it's not for me.
No.
But generally the better that the more that you pay, the more viscous the material is, the more it sticks to you and sticks to the pad and provides the lubrication for longer. Which, particularly if you're riding on your turbo in a stationary position for a bit, that's more likely to cause you some saddle sores than otherwise. And there are like some really good brands like Assos do a really good chamois cream. We've got some of that at home.
Position 1, but
only if you're available in North America. Although we've managed to get hold of some. That is really good. It don't, some chamois creams leave a smell on your hands, but position 1's doesn't, because it can be a bit petrol-y, some of them, can't they? Yeah.
Because I think they're more cheaper ones, Oliver.
Well, yeah. So it depends what your budget is and how bothered you are about how your hands smell for an hour while you're on your turbo. Some people might not be bothered at all.
Because it's very difficult to wash off.
Yeah,
obviously.
It comes off in shower.
But it's designed not to come off easy, is it?
No.
Else why would you have chamois cream? Anyway.
So spending the most money you can on that is a sound investment for you, and will make your cycling a much more pleasurable experience, both indoor and outdoor. The next thing I would recommend someone buy is a pair of bib shorts. Now, you can just get normal cycling shorts and they come up to your waist, but bib shorts are where you get a bib. So they hook over your shoulders and they, in my experience, they stay in position a lot better than a regular pair of cycling shorts that move.
I would also say it comes up your back.
Yeah.
So it makes it a bit more comfortable, especially in winter.
Or outside.
Yeah.
Say no to crack.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So having a pair of bib shorts rather than cycling shorts, I would say generally better. And again, unfortunately, the more you spend on a pair of bib shorts, usually the more comfortable they are, because the chamois pad that you'll sit on is usually better constructed of better materials, and more R&D's gone into
the design
and how it fits and how it feels. Yeah.
So I mean,
again, like Castelli shorts.
Yeah.
My favouriteest pair of shorts ever.
Yeah, those Castelli we bought you.
And my Castelli shorts from 12 years ago that I've still got now, and they've got holes in the bib part of them. But it don't matter. Like, I have a top on of it like that. Shorts are really comfortable. It's like putting on a pair of old slippers. They're that comfortable. but mainly because they're really good quality, but also I've worn them a lot, so they fit really nice. But you really like Stomp the Pedal ones,
I like
don't
Stomp
you?
the Pedal, and they're a lady-specific brand, but Tarsha stopped making them, so you have to get them second-hand if you wanted a pair, but they are, for ladies, top dollar.
And I've been riding with Position 1 ones now for almost a year, and I really, really like them. The chamois is well constructed and comfortable. It's specifically cut if you're sitting on like an aero road bike or a TT bike with different chamois in it to try and reduce the friction and the areas that you sit on that can cause problems. And it's not just me saying that. There's an article on Slow Twitch you can catch that talks about that in detail. And bonus feature are the side pockets. They are a genius addition to this because
Tarsha's have side pockets.
Genius addition, because when you're out I'm always paranoid that something's going to fall out of the back pocket of my cycling shirt, so I always like periodically put my hand behind my back just to tap to make sure everything's still there. But with these shorts, I can put my phone in my shorts and my keys in the shorts, some money or whatever I need, and I know it's there because I can feel it against my legs, and I have to have a quick glance down and it's still there. Also, when I'm riding it on my turbo, I can put a telebox in there. Well, if you don't know what a telebox is because you're not from Yorkshire, it's your remote to change channel.
Yeah, remote control.
Yeah, so I can put my Sky remote in my trouser pocket so that if it gets to half time on football while I'm riding my bike, I don't have to listen to somebody like Micah Richards tell me about football. I can flick it onto something else for 15 minutes and then flick it back on again and not have my ride interrupted.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Really good. Or you get to enter a film, you can just change it over without having to get off.
Yeah.
So pockets, I know like Jess always talks about having pockets in her dress and how liberating that is for her, but pockets on your cycling shorts, ace.
I would recommend that.
Definitely. But it's again like budgets, isn't it? So
it is.
some people don't have the budget to be able to spend on that, and there are some good ones you can get for not much budget. So the DHB ones that you can get off Wiggle, I've got a pair of those. I've got several pairs of those.
Yeah, they're really good quality.
And you can, wear them inside on your turbo quite happily for an hour and a half without having much problem with all that, can't you? Especially with some good quality chamois cream.
Yeah, but you all know that we love Decathlon.
Yes.
And a revelation.
I love particularly Van Rysel stuff. And as we said in the podcast a few weeks ago, Van Rysel have got some bib shorts that have a different chamois depending on the length of ride that you're going to do. So I will spend some time this winter trying them out, and then for people who are into that kind of thing, I will do some sort of report, like a field report, into how I found them over a period of months, probably the 1 hour and the 2 hour ones, because they're the ones that I use the most in the winter rather than the 3 hour one.
Yeah, and they're very reasonable price.
Yeah, I think the 1 hour one were like 10 or 12 quid, weren't it? It weren't expensive at all.
No,
and you think, well, it's worth having a shot on that. And I think it goes up in £10 per hour. And they'll put some R&D into it because Van Rysel provide the kit for AG2R, the Mondial. So
pro cycling team.
So they'll have some idea about what's going on. So I will give it a try, and it will go along with my nice tops.
So the next thing you need to be thinking about is a saddle. Because you often think, saddle's on my bike. Well, you don't have to stick with that saddle.
No.
In fact, we recommend that you don't stick with it. So
because that'll usually be the most inexpensive one that the manufacturer could justify putting on your bike for you, which isn't necessarily good for you, but is good for their profit margin. So find yourself a little, a more local bike shop, and they'll usually have a range of saddles you can try. For me, I would always have a short nose and a cut-off saddle. So something like an Adamo, where they have like a donut hole cut in the middle of them, because that makes it more comfortable if you're a male or a female. And I ride on my bikes the Physic Mystica, which again is a short nose, and it's got like a little trench cut out in the middle. And the bonus to the Mystica is that the actual bits that you sit on are sticky, so it tries to keep you in position and a bit more. But saddles have often, there's so much happening in saddles in the last sort of 5-6 years or 7 years compared to what it was before, because mainly more women are riding bikes, and that change is coming as a result of that.
Yeah, and a good local bike shop will be able to A, sit you on a bike and give you a good idea of what's going to suit you, and B, usually lend you them
You
so
have
that
to
you
give
can
it a
try
try.
it. Because you need to be trying them outside.
I think Adamo had a system like
Yeah,
that where
they
you
did.
could hire one and then send
Yeah.
them back if you didn't
Yeah.
get on with them. And
Yeah.
we rode Adamo saddles and everything for a long time.
Yeah,
and I
but
still would now.
Yeah, I've still got a Dharma on my TT bike.
Still comfortable, and
Yeah.
they're a bit. So yeah, I give them saddles again. Something that you can have a play with and see what's most comfortable for you, because you're going to be sat on it a long time. You want to be comfortable.
But it's not a magic wand.
No, you are going to have to get used to being sat on it for a length of time, and no matter, even if you get the most comfortable saddle in the world, it's still going to be uncomfortable at first. It's something that you're just going to have to wear in, and your body's going to have to get used to being in that position with your sit bones and
With
everything
sit bones,
like
yeah.
that.
Because I can remember the first ever proper cycle ride that we went on. We were 11 miles, and I thought I was on like torture. We didn't know anything about we didn't know about chamois cream, saddles, shorts, nothing.
No.
So it were an uncomfortable 11 miles.
Yes. But hopefully, having listened to this podcast, you will not repeat our mistakes.
No.
Or the things that we didn't know, because now you know. The next thing is that and it started to get into like stuff that don't matter as much, but I would say a fan.
Yeah, I would say a fan as
Particularly
well.
for while you're training inside, a fan of whatever description will make your training inside a lot more of a comfortable experience, particularly if it's hot and humid where you are, or in the summer, because a nice breeze blowing to you, and if you're that particularly inclined, you can put one front and back so you're getting a breeze on your back as well, but I've never been bothered by that. And again, much like turbos, fans come in all range of accessibility.
Yeah,
so
and prices.
So you can get a standard pedal fan that you can get from Argos or
20
equivalent
quid.
for like 20 quid. You can get out, and you can go right the way up to automatic fans that will change the wind that they blow at you depending on how fast you are cycling, because you can connect that to your turbo and it will work out.
But not your turbo you got from Lidl.
No, if you're smart turbo, it'll work out what you think's the watts that you're doing, and will blow the wind accordingly. So if you are working hard and it's boiling hot, it will be like standing at the top of Mount Everest, because it'll be blowing a right gale, freezing cold temperature at your face, but you will feel better for it. It'll reduce your core temperature, and it will make it much more of a nice experience. So I would think about getting a fan. Well, we have in our and we always have had in our setups. So definitely get a fan, something inexpensive that you can get that will make your indoor cycling a lot better.
And also, I mean, as daft as it is, a bottle cage.
Yeah, for your bike, to put your bottle in, because that's really good if you've got, for two reasons. One, you can bring your nutrition or your drink out with you and have it on your bike rather than having to reach onto a shelf or wherever for it, or a telephone
And you get
table.
used to leaning down and getting your bottle to drink from.
Not having to, and not looking at where your bottle is, just feeling for it, putting it back, and because if you drop it, it's only going to fall on your garage floor or your kitchen floor. It ain't going to go and roll down the road and get squashed by a car coming past. Or you're not going to have to get off and go and get it. You can, get off and get back on relatively quickly. You're not back down the road for it. So yeah, having a bottle cage, again, inexpensive to add, and a bottle to take out with it will make a big difference to your
Also,
cycling.
on your turbo, if you're going to do that, then, and it's not a direct drive, then think about getting a turbo wheel.
Yeah, a turbo wheel. If you've got a turbo with not a direct drive, because it'll just put all sorts in your, it'll ruin your wheel, and well, no, it won't ruin your wheel. It'll ruin your tyre. Your tyre, and tyres are expensive, and you don't want to be knackering them up. You're out just for convenience on your turbo. You want to be having ideally a separate wheel if you can wangle that, but if not, being able to change it over into your winter turbo tyre will do you a world of good.
Yeah, and you won't have all that rubber and on
Or
your
sound.
floor. Or sound, or
smell. Smell, yeah, you won't have any of that.
Another thing that we didn't ask there, Oliver, is we thought about is with the bib shorts inside, should you wear a normal training t-shirt or should you wear...
Well, I was going to say, like, the next thing is, like, upstairs, what do you wear on your top?
Yeah.
Because do you wear, like I've worn for most of, nearly all the time I've been riding
I
and
would say
training for
all the
triathlon,
time I've ever done it.
like a race t-shirt, that you've got from finishing a race, or a polyester t-shirt that you've got from...
Or a football shirt, whatever.
Whatever. Do you wear that because it's easy to wash, no ironing, and just gets put in your dryer or hung out to dry or on your hair or whatever, and you put it back in your drawer and it's relatively hard wearing? Or do you wear a cycling top? Like an outdoor cycling top?
Yeah, we need to know the protocol for this.
Yes, because there'll probably be a Vela Manati rule, like don't have a cappuccino after 11 o'clock, which I always stick to. But is there a rule for when we're riding inside on your turbo, or should you be wearing
a
cycling top, albeit a short sleeve one, I would imagine, inside? But are you all right wearing any shirt that you want?
Socks.
Yes, socks again can affect the comfort and how you're riding. I have to say I am just a typical man, and I wear Beleaguer socks to go to work in because they're comfortable on my feet, and then I will wear them to training that night, be it running or be it cycling, because I don't want to wash 2 pairs of socks a day.
Yeah, I don't do that. I wear, for normal training in garage, and I wear Decathlon socks. But when I'm outside, I do have my super duper Sprock socks.
I have some Sprock socks as well to wear when I'm outside, but Mum is an aficionado of Sprocks.
Yes.
They allow you to express your personality, and Mum has all manner of pineapples and pink flamingos. And
yeah, in fact I think I might have got 10 pairs of flamingos. Might even have got more, but I have got at least 20 pairs that I'm not even at packets off yet, on account I had an addiction when it was lockdown, and I thought I'll keep this Spanish company going by buying socks when they've got them on sale. So now I've got a drawer full.
But they are really nice to put on. And one of the things I complain most about with swimming kit is that it's all black, and particularly as a man, they're all black or blue, and there's no expression of your personality on them. But with Sprocks, you can definitely express your personality in your cycling socks when you're out riding, or inside on your turbo if you're so inclined.
No, I'm not wearing them. They're too expensive to wear on turbo.
Well, yeah, but some people like that though, don't they?
Yeah.
Next thing, shoes. What type of shoes do you wear while you're riding inside, or even outside? So I would say, for me, you can't...
I just wear the same pair.
Well, I have an inside pair and an outside pair, but that's because I'm funny. But they're all set up exactly the same with the cleat position, which is the bit that you use to clip into your pedals. So, and I would say that particularly on a turbo, particularly in winter, learning how to use clip-in pedals will really help you by the time you get to spring. Because when you use clip-on pedals outside, you will fall off once or twice because you'll forget to clip out and balance yourself.
I've done this loads of times.
Everybody does this. You then become a proper cyclist when you've done it. But, and like Mel texted you the other week, didn't she, when she'd done it?
I'm a proper cyclist now, Jacqui. I have fallen off.
Because people do forget to clip out.
Well, I said, was it at the traffic lights? And you said, no. I said, well, you're not a proper cyclist then. Because you've got to fall off at traffic lights.
So I would, and again, like with your shoes, you can spend as much as you want on them. Probably indoor stuff where it's likely to be more humid and sweaty, ain't really going to matter very much. But your cleat position
does matter.
Will matter. I'm a big fan of a middle foot, midfoot cleat position, where you, unsurprisingly, your cleat is in the middle of your foot, because then you can just stomp up and down on your pedal like pistons. But I know you can't really get on with them outside, can you? Because it's difficult to clip in and clip out.
No, I've got used to, because my problem was I wore one pair from, I used to wear inside shoes, which had the cleat at the front, normal, and then my outside shoes, which were my best shoes, had it in the middle. So if you're swapping from one to other, it's difficult. So now I've just gone to midfoot all along so that I get used to it.
Yeah, and then it's a bit more tricky to clip in as a midfoot at first, but then once you're off, I think it's much better and you're more efficient. You are more efficient anyway when you have clip-in shoes, because they are about 30% more efficient, because you are working with the bike rather than independently of your bike. If you just got mountain bike pedals on and you're pushing down on your trainer, there is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. But for my money, you can get a pair of Look Keo clipping ones for about 30 quid, 40 quid from Decathlon, and probably less actually. I think I bought some for mine, Taylor Swift, for $29.99 from Decathlon. and they are worth the money because you can get practice getting clipped in, get clipped out, and be much more efficient while you are cycling as a result. So I would say pedals, get clipping in ones, and whether you get SPDs or Speed Play or Look Keo, it's completely individual to you, your physiology. Because like Dad's got a new knee and a new ankle, so he has to have Speed Play pedals because it clips in a different way and it sort of floats on the pedal rather than adding in. And it depends. Just give him a good try. And if you're interested in where clipping pedals came from, our friend Steve Canning's, name check there for Steve if he's listening, was telling us that these came from ski boots originally. So people had, I won't do the accent, so Look would make ski boots and clipping on a weekend. Somebody said to him, oh, could we do this for cycling? And then there we were, no longer requiring binder twine to fasten your shoe foot to your shoe. You could just get a clipping pedal, and then cycling history changed. Further, I would say, just lastly, headgear. Like, what do you wear when you're riding your bike? Now, outside, always a helmet, ideally one with MIPS, so that it's protecting your head if you fall off. But definitely a helmet, whether you wear a casket underneath it or not, which is like a little thin cycling cap to try and absorb the sweat, entirely up to you. I can't really get on with caskets, so I have headbands, again Van Rysel ones, because they're really nice and fit nicely against your head. But I don't wear them all the time when I'm turboing inside, because I have a set of like cheapy ones that I have on my turbo just to keep sweat from running down in front of my eyes, because sweat is a right pain and it's corrosive to your bike. So to protect your bike, particularly if you're turboing inside, I would get some sort of bandana to put around your head to keep the sweat falling on, and also what they call a thong.
Yeah, get them from Decathlon.
Or like Wiggle or Amazon for not very much money, like a £5, and they go over your top tube, so they're fastened to your handlebars and your seat post, and cover your top tube so that you don't get sweat on it. Those have been our tips for things you could use for cycling and to improve your cycling this winter. I've been Coach Oliver.
I've been Coach Jacqui.
And until next time, we'll civvy.
Thank you for joining us today.
See you next time.
See you then. Or as we say in Yorkshire, civvy.